Good afternoon. In this video, we are going to discuss how to solve variation questions extracted from 2016 and 2020 Mathematics Paper 1. So we are going to answer two questions from two different past paper under variation. This is the first question that we are going to discuss together. It reads, it is given that y varies inversely as the square of x. The table below shows some values of x and corresponding values of y. So here is our table. We have x values as 2, b, and 6. Then we also have y values 9, 4, and a. So 2 is corresponding with 9, b corresponding with 4, 6 corresponding with a. Questions are below. Find the value of k, that is the constant of variation. So now how do we find the value of k? So the first thing there that we should do is to formulate a variation expression or a variation equation. That is the first step that we are going to take. How do we do that? We are going to read carefully this statement, which is saying y varies inversely as the square of x. Just this, we are going to come up with an equation. Okay, so they are saying y. So we are going to write first y. That is the first thing that we are going to do like that. Because the values that are here, we have y and also x. So we have written y there in green color. Then it is saying it varies inversely. So I want us to understand this word inversely. How do you understand it? We have y. If I may to ask, what is the inverse of y? This is our y in green color. If you are asked to say, write the inverse of y, how are you going to write it? This is how you write it. You simply say 1 over y. That is the inverse of y. So if you have a and you're asked to write the inverse of a, you just say 1 over a. That is the inverse of a. Now in this case, they are saying y varies inversely as the square of x. So meanwhile, I will not talk about the square. I'm going to talk about the inverse that I have already started with. So when we say y varies inversely as x, it means that y varies inversely as x. So it is the x that we are going to write in inverse form, not y. So meaning we are going to write x in that way because y varies inversely as x. So you're going to say 1 over x like that. Then, that is what it means. Then there's that word which is saying varies. You know, that is a variation. Variation has got a symbol that we use to connect different variables or different variables. So now this is the symbol that we are going to connect the y and the x. So how do we do that? Here is what we are going to do. So meaning this inversely, it is the one that we've written there, the one highlighted in red there. Now we are discussing the variations. The variation symbol. So this is how we do it. Variation symbol is presented with an alpha symbol, the one which looks like an A. An alpha symbol, so meaning y varies, variation symbol, it is the one which is in alpha connecting now with x, which is in inverse form. Is it clear there? Therefore, now we are going to discuss this other word which is saying y varies inversely as the square of x. I want to talk about the square. What does it mean when we say square of x? That is what I want us to discuss, that square there. What does it mean? So in this case, what it means when we say a square, meaning a number has been raised to power 2. So for example, here it is saying a square of x, meaning x has been raised to a power 2. Meaning x is raised to a power 2. That is what we mean by a square of x. Sometimes they can't use square, they can use cube of x. If we say cube of x, meaning that x has been raised to power 3. Sometimes they cannot use cube, they can use now square root. So if it means square root, meaning you should write that symbol, meaning x is in that symbol there, the square root of x, meaning you are going to use that particular symbol there. There are certain times where they will say a cube root of x, meaning this is what we are going to write, the one to the right hand side, the root, then there is a 3 there. That is what a cube root is. So now, meaning in our question, they are saying y varies, that is the symbol we've written y, varies, that is the variation constant, or variation symbol which is there, inversely as the x, so that is 1 over x which is there. Now there is that square of x, meaning this x has to be raised to a power 2. So it is going to look like that. So what we have here, this is an expression, but it is not complete. Remember, variation always have a constant, and it is a constant which we are asked to find here in A. Therefore, where do we put our constant? Our constant always comes after the alpha symbol, after the variation symbol. So we are going to write a k after this variation symbol, then we are going to write your k like that. So now, what we have here, this is what we are calling a variation expression. This is an expression connecting these variables together. Now, if you want to convert, if you want to make it to be an equation, meaning we are going to substitute where there is variation symbol, we are going to replace an equal sign, meaning it is going to look like that. So we have now our equation. Like that now, it is very easy for us to calculate the constant because we have now the expression, or rather the equation that will help us solve. So now, how do we find the constant now, since we've already formulated our equation? So here is what we are going to do. So we are going to use the table value there. So we are going to select one column which has numbers. For example, when you look at the first column, the first value of x and the value of y, they are all numbers. So it is very easy there, meaning the 2 there, that is the value of x. The y there, it is also a value of 9. If we choose the second column, which has b and 4, there it will be very difficult because b is not a number. So even when we substitute, we have a variable, it will become difficult. When you come to the other one, we have 6 and a. It is not a number. There also, it is a problem because when you look at b and c, we are asked to find the value of a and also b. So in this case, we are going to take the first values because there we have variables. There we have constants. We have numbers there that will help us find k. So in this case, x there, if we are going to take the first column, then our x there will be equal to 2. And our y there will be equal to 9. So when you look at this equation that we formulated, it has x, it also have a y. So if we have x and a y, it will be very easy for us now to find the k. So now, we are going to pick those as our values. So meaning we have y is equal to 9 and x is equal to 2. So we are going to substitute these numbers in this equation that we formulated. So this is what we are going to do. So meaning where there's y, I have substituted 9. The one in the green is equal to that equation there. Then the k is there. Then 1 over. Then where there's x, I'll substitute 2. But that power still remains there. But only where there's x, that is where I have substituted. Then from there, you are going to simplify. You are going to simplify, meaning 9 is equal to k. So now you are going to simplify 2 to the power 2. It means that there are 2 2's multiplying each other there. So meaning we have 2 times 2. That is what it means when you say 2 to the power 2. If you had 3 to the power 2, meaning we have two 3's multiplying each other there. So in this case, 2 to the power 2, it will give us 4. So I've simplified there. The power 2 raised to power 2, it is giving us 4. So that is the simplification there. Then from there now, you can still simplify further. The k, can you multiply k times 1. So you still get k over 4. So that is how it is going to look like that. So meaning the 1 has been multiplied with the k. So you get k over the 4 which is down there. So 9 is equal to that. So when you reach there now, how do we find k? So you cross multiply like that. So meaning the 9 will multiply with 4. So down over 9 here, there's a 1 there. So if you say 1 times k, you get k. So the final answer now will be k is equal to 36. That is the answer for A. Then coming to B now. Coming to B, since we've already found k is constant. So k will be working in everything that you'll be doing here. So now, how do we find the value of A? So before you do that, the first thing that you are going to do, since you are finding A is corresponding to which value in X? Because A, it is in Y. Then it is corresponding to 6. So you are going to pick them. These are your values that we are going to use. So now, the first thing, you write your equation. That common equation, that is the one that we are going to use throughout. So if we are wrong in formulating this equation, it means that all the answers that we are going to get will be wrong. So this is our equation, which is there. From there, you get the values that you are going to use. So make sure you write them. So you get numbers that are corresponding to each other. So for example, the A that we are asked to find, it is corresponding with the 6. So these are the values that you have. X is equal to 6 because 6, it is in X there. Then the K is constant. It will be working. So in this case, we are finding the value of Y because A, it is in Y range there. Okay, so we are going to substitute. K we've already found, it is 36. So we are going to substitute in this same equation. So Y will still remain the same since we are finding A. So or if you want, you can substitute where there is Y, you substitute A because A, it is in Y there. Then you say is equal to K. Where there is K, you are going to put 36 times 1 over X. X is 6 to the power 2. So our substitution will look like that. So meaning Y is equal to 36 times. There's multiplication. K is multiplying just like we did here. We multiply K times 1. So even here, K is going to multiply with 1 over 6 because 6, that is the value of X to the power 2 there because X is raised to power 2. So you're going to have something like that. Then from there, you are going to evaluate, or rather to simplify, X to power 2. So when we say X to power 2, meaning we have two 6 there multiplying each other. So meaning we have 6 times 6. No wonder it is written 6 to the power 2. So 6 to power 6, this one will give us 36. Then 6 to power 2, it will give us 36. Then this 36 which is here times 1 will give us 36 which is in top. No wonder it is written in black. Then the 36 in blue, this is the one which is 6 to the power 2, which is giving us that 36. So if you divide 36 by 36, it is going to give us 1. So Y there is equal to 1. You are done. So that Y, that is the value of A. Okay? Now we come back to C. We come back to C. So C also the same. C, find the value of B. So we are going to take the values where B is. So X is B. Then Y there is equal to 4. Those are the values. But before you do that, we are going to use the same equation that we've already formulated. So you write your equation there. That is our equation, the same equation that we formulated. Then you take the values, the corresponding values in X and also Y. So Y there, we have 4. Then the constant still remains. It is 36. So those are the values that we have. K is equal to 36 and y will be equal to 4. So that is what we have there. Then we are going to substitute now. So where there's y, we are going to substitute 4. Where there's k, we are going to put 36. Where there's x, we don't know. If you want, you can substitute b raised to power 2. Otherwise, it is just x. There's no harm there. So we are going to substitute like that. The 4 is there and is equal to 36 times 1 over x squared. That x squared, that is the a, because the corresponding value of 4 is b. So that b, it is still in the x range. So that is what we have there. From there, you are going to simplify, meaning 36 times 1, you have 36 over x squared. That is what you are going to have, something like that. So the 4 still remains. Then 36 times 1, you have 36 on top. Then down there, you have x squared. From there, you are going to cross multiply like that. So meaning the 4 will multiply with the x squared down there. And then under 4 here, we have 1. So 1 is multiplying with 36. So you're going to have something like 4x squared giving us 36. So now you are going to simplify this because you are trying to find the value of x. Once you get the value of x, that is the value of b. So how do we do this one? This is now an equation. This is an equation, so meaning we are going to divide both sides by 4 so that we eliminate the 4 from x. So this is what we are going to do. You divide both sides by 4. So now the 4 to the right, to the left hand side will cancel. Then the x squared remains. Then the other side, how many times can 4 go into 36? Definitely we'll have a 9. So we are going to have x squared is equal to 9. So this one, this is not the final answer because it's saying x squared. So us is just finding the value of a single x. So here we have 2 x's there, meaning we have x times x giving us 9. That is what it means. So now we want the value of a single x. So what we are going to do is, since it is to the power 2, x to the power 2, meaning to remove that power, we are going to square, to square root both sides. So this is what we are going to do. You write the square root this side and also that side. So the square root of x squared, it will just give us x, single x. And then the square root of 9 now, it will give us 3. So that is the value of b. This is question 1. We are done. Now let's go to question 2, the second question under variation. So this is the second question that we have here. So the second question reads, it is given that w varies directly as the square of x and inversely as y. The same language here. So you need to understand carefully this language. So what you should understand here, you start with the first variable that is asked. So you have what? The first variable there, you have w. So you write your w like that because they're saying w varies. So when you say varies, you know the symbol of variation. So you write a variation constant there. That is what you are going to do. So now, A, it is saying write an expression for W in terms of X, Y, and a constant K. Remember, an expression, the way we did in the first example there. So you start with W we've already written. Then they're saying varies. So you're going to write now, that is the word varies there. You in blue, rectangle highlighted. Then you are going to write the variation symbol like that. It looks like an alpha. Okay, so now in short, it is an alpha. So you write it like that. Then it is saying directly as the square of x. So when we say direct, meaning this one, it is not in inverse form. So meaning this x that we are going to write, it is not in inverse form. It is just direct. It is corresponding. So if this value of w increases, meaning even also the value of x will increase, meaning that one, it is direct. There is no inverse there. So you just write the way x is. So now we are talking about the direct there. So if it was inversely, then we'll write 1 over x. Now in this case, it is direct, so there is no writing 1 over x. We are just going to write what? X, like that. Then I'm going also to skip this square which is there because I've already explained this in the first example. Then I'm going to go direct and inversely as y. So meaning it is the y which we are going to write in inverse form. So meaning we are going to have, that is the inversely there. So meaning we are going to have 1 over y. So you've seen it. We have w varies. That is, you write w and then the alpha symbol and then direct as x. I'm skipping square, remember, as x. So x, you just write that one, x, meaning it is just direct like that. Then, and inversely as y. So meaning the y now, it should be written in inverse form. Therefore, it is going to be 1 over y. Now there's also this word for the square, that square, meaning x, it should be written to the power x. That is what it means, meaning x is raised to the power 2. That is what it means. So meaning to complete the expression, we are going to have w alpha, then x to the power 2, then 1 over y. So it is going to look like that. This is the variation expression. It is not complete, remember, it should have a k, which is a constant. So remember, we said that k comes after, immediately after the variation symbol, immediately after the alpha symbol. So meaning we are going, after this alpha, we are going to write our k like that. So meaning we have w varies directly with the constant and x to the power 2 and then 1 over y. That is our expression. So now to simplify this expression, we can multiply the kx squared times 1 so that those are on top over y. So it can look like that. So meaning w, then the constant there, the variation cost symbol, then constant, and then x squared over y, meaning you multiplied this kx squared times 1 to get on top there, then over y. So if you want to convert this in equation form, you just substitute where there is the alpha symbol or the variation symbol, you put an equal sign like that. So that is your expression. That is your equation for question A. So you are done with that one. Then coming to B, if x is equal to negative 6, y is equal to 12, and w is equal to 15, find k. So here now you are told to find the value of k. So when you check B, you are given the value of x. You are also given the value of y. You are also given the value of w. Now, what they want you to find is the value of k. So you use this same equation that you have there. So what we have, these are the values that you are given. The x is given, which is negative 6. The y is also given. The w is given. Then what should you do? You write the equation. That same equation is the one that we are going to use to find the value of k. Because in this very equation, you have w, you have x, you have y, you have also a k. So that is the equation that we are going to use. You formulated yourself. So you are going to substitute now. Where there's w, we are going to substitute 15. Where there's y, you substitute 12. Where there's x, you are going to substitute negative 6. So this is how you are going to substitute. The reason why negative 6 is put in open and close parentheses, it is because of the negative. So meaning that negative, it should also be raised to power 2. No wonder you've seen those. So when you substitute, it will look like that. The 15 is there, has substituted w, just like that. Then from there now, you are going to simplify negative 6 squared. What is negative 6 squared? You work it separate. So in short, there we have negative 6 times negative 6. So the negative times negative, you get positive. 6 times 6, you get 36. So the answer there, you're going to have positive 36. Then positive 36 times now k. So that is what you have. You are going to have 36k like that. So that is what we have there. When you simplify that one on top, negative 6 to power 2, you get 36k. Then you simplify here. After here, you are going to cross multiply. So I've taken it to the other side. I hope you've seen it. I've taken it to the other side. So you're going to have 15 is equal to 36k over 12. So there now you're going to cross it, multiply like that. So I mean the 15 will multiply with 12. Then under 15 here we have a 1. 1 times 36k, you're going to have 36k is equal to 15 times 12. So if you multiply that one, it will give us 36k is equal to 15 times 12. It is giving us 180. So now how do we get the value of k? Meaning you are going to divide both sides by 36 so that you eliminate the 36 that is with k so that the k remains alone. So this is what we are going to do. You will divide both sides by 36. So how do we get k? We are going to eliminate the 36 and the 36 will be eliminated. Then there to the left hand side. Then to the right hand side, the 36 will go into 180. Now, how many times? So, k is equal to 5. 36 will go into 180 5 times. So, the value of k there, it is just 5. Coming to C, find the value of y when x is equal to 8 and w is equal to 20. So now here, it is the same equation that we are going to use. So we are asked to find the value of y. So in this case, the k is known. Remember, k is constant. K does not change. But these other values, the x, the y, those can change. So in this case, k will still be 5 in this particular question. So now, you write your equation there. The same equation that we formulated in A, that is the same equation that we'll be using to work out other questions. So here now, you get your values. They are saying x is 8, which is there, and w is 20. And then k, we know it is 5. It is the one that we are from calculating. So what we want to find here is y. That is what they want. So y will maintain, will not do anything. So here is what we are going to do when you substitute. So where there's w, there's 20 there. Where there's k, there's 5 there. Time is, where there's x, there's 8 there. Remember, x is raised to power 2. So I mean it is 8, which is going to be raised to power 2 over the y. The y still remains the same. Then you simplify here. You simplify first what is on top. You simplify the 8, which is raised to power 2. So that is what we are going to do. So when 8 is raised to power 2, the answer is 36 because it means there are 2 8s there multiplying each other. So meaning you have 8 times 8 giving us 64. From there you do the same. You simplify now the 5 times what? 64. Because the way it is in the formula, the k and x meaning they are multiplying each other. No wonder you've seen there's multiplication there. So if there's nothing else there, meaning there's multiplication. So no wonder you've seen times there. So you're going to have say 5 times 64 will give us what? So this is what we are going to get. 20 is equal to the 20. I have not touched the 20. It is still repeating. And then the 320, it has resulted as multiplying 5 times 64. So we have 320 there over y. When you reach this level, you cross multiply as we are doing in other questions. So you're going to cross multiply. So you're going to say 20 times y. So we're going to have 20y. Then under 20 here we have 1. So 1 times 320, you're going to have 320. Now how do we get the value of y? Meaning we are going to divide both sides by 20 like that. Then the 20 from to the left hand side, 20 to 20, those 20s will cancel each other like that. The y remains. Then to the left, to the right hand side, how many times can 20 go into 320? So the answer is 16 times. So y is equal to 16. So thank you so much for watching this video.